So today we will be continuing the Art of Giving series, and we will be creating appreciation cards by using the quilling technique. So for this project you need a toothpick, at least one. You need some colorful paper, a pencil or a pen, though I would recommend a pencil, but pen shows up better on camera. You need some scissors, some liquid glue, any kind should be fine. You need a ruler. You may want some scrap paper, but that's completely optional, and maybe some markers as well. Of course, you can create your own design by sketching out something in pencil, but we also have a free handout on the ArtSphere blog for quilling, which you can get a PDF download of, and I will link it down below. So for this project, we need to make some colorful paper strips, and I already made some. You'll take a ruler and you'll mark each part of the paper. I would recommend strips of 1/4 of an inch by 8.5 inches because that's the length of a paper. You can just go in and measure 1/4 of an inch. And if you do this all the way down, then you'll get plenty of strips of paper, and once you mark it on this side, mark it on this side as well. And once again, in between each of these little spaces is 1/4 of an inch. It can really be any size. Just make sure all of your pieces are consistent if possible. So then you'll take your ruler and measure the line from these 2 points, and you'll keep doing that, and then you can cut it out. As you saw before, I already measured and cut out some strips as well, so this is what it will look like when you cut out your strips. I had some strips already cut. You can find quilling strips, which is pre-cut paper, as well as the strips that I am using are made for paper stars, but I thought that they would be appropriate for this too. But if you don't have any colorful paper or pre-cut paper, you can also easily use loose leaf. And if you cut off the edges on both sides, you already have pre-measured strips, and you can use that for a quilling piece as well. On the back of this page, you'll want to write a short letter to the person who you're giving this gift to, just to tell them how much you appreciate them. Once we begin quilling, it'll be more difficult to write on the back side of this paper, so you may want to do this now. Something short and sweet. Once you finish that, you will take a strip of paper and you will wrap it around the flat edge of the toothpick, which is the middle part or closer to the end. This toothpick without a pointy end is also good. Any toothpick will work. And if you don't have a toothpick, a small object or a small rounded object like a pen may work as well. So for this, you want to take your strip of paper and curl it around the toothpick. And you just keep doing that until there's no more paper strip. So let's talk about quilling. What is it? It is a paper curling technique where the artist shapes and arranges each little piece of paper and By doing this, we can create, or the artist creates, various patterns and designs. So in this card, you'll be able to express your appreciation and gratitude to someone who's important to you while making a fun little artwork that looks really cool. So once you wrap your paper, you can decide how large you want it, and if you want it larger, you can kind of shape it and loosen it. So as you can see, it's getting a little larger as I'm carefully loosening the paper. And once I have it at the size I want, I will take my glue and just glue the edge down. If I was to glue this on the paper, if you have a scrap piece of paper, I just have a sticky note. There are a few methods to do this. You could either glue directly on the paper, which I will do for this one. Just place it where you want it, and it's pretty easy. However, if you were going to do this again, I'll show you how to glue it another way. Let's talk about quilling as an art form and the history of it. So quilling is an art form where you arrange and shape strips of paper into intricate designs, and it can be looped, it can be twisted, rolled, curled, etc. Although the exact origin of quilling is unknown at this time, many believe that the art of quilling originated in ancient Egypt and was created by nuns. From there, the art form spread to places such as France, Italy, and England. Quilling was practiced during the Renaissance period by nuns and monks, and they would use paper quilling to decorate religious items and book covers, for instance. But in 18th century Europe, quilling became really popular among women with higher social status, known as gentlewomen or ladies of leisure, and quilling was spread to North and South America, and there are examples of quilling from colonial times as well. For this one, I'm going to actually glue another sheet of paper on it to make it a little longer and a little larger. Even without a toothpick, you can keep rolling the paper. When you begin each strip, it is a bit easier with a toothpick. But let's continue talking about quilling. So, historically, quilling was used to decorate cabinets, purses, pictures, picture frames, work baskets, storage boxes, and more. Quilling is often paired with painting and embroidery, and nowadays, quilling is becoming really popular again. It's sometimes used to make jewelry, but it's very commonly used to decorate greeting cards, wedding invitations, scrapbooks, and more. And quilling can actually be found in art galleries around the United States and in Europe. Quilling is practiced internationally. Okay, and I'm gonna make this large. So that's a little bit about the history of quilling. And right now, I'm going to make this one a little larger. So, the other method of gluing, if you put some glue down on the paper, it's better to do it thinly or to scrape it with a card or another piece of paper, and then you kind of dip the paper in the glue just very lightly so it has some glue stuck to the bottom of it, and then you can glue it on there. There are so many shapes you can make with quilling, and on the practice sheet for Art Sphere, most of the shapes are circular or teardrop shaped, which I will show you how to make in a moment. can take a lot of practice, but it can be pretty fun if you listen to some good music or turn on your favorite show. And there are some more resources in the description that will help you with quilling. There are tutorials about lettering online, tutorials about different quilling shapes and just beginning quilling, which should help you with the freedom to make whatever shapes and designs you want. Once again, once it's a circular shape, I'm just going to glue down the edge so it stays together. And then once I do that, close to where I glued, I'm just going to pinch one side, and then it becomes a teardrop. Quilling can be used to make many shapes and is about curling and twisting paper. And this is where the other method, where you get a small amount of glue on the paper, is very helpful. So I took some glue and I'm just gonna put it along the edges wherever I would want it. Having a few toothpicks is nice because you can also use a toothpick to add some glue where you want it. And if you do have scrap paper, I would recommend using white scrap paper, or it may dye your glue pink in my case. Be careful not to press down too hard. If you press down, I'm going to get the edge of this glued. And you can just take your scissors and snip. Be careful because it may not be straight if you're not paying attention. You can also trace different outlines, and you may not be able to see well here, but there are outlines of designs on the sheet. You can trace the outlines with the paper. You can outline letters with paper. However, that is a bit more difficult. So as a beginner, I would recommend taking the time to fill this in with marker. But if you're up for the challenge and you have the patience for it, there are links down below which should help you with lettering. You can of course decorate with any color marker. Although we didn't show it in this video, I would recommend using marker beforehand. Quilling is great because you can use a combination of color and paper outlines to make your piece really pop. Even if you're using only loose leaf, you can make a lot of really cool designs that will make your art piece really interesting. Take time to really experiment with different shapes and colors. You can take a color, you can combine it with another color. So I'm gonna take both of these strips right now, and you can wrap both of them around the toothpick at the same time. Bit of variety in color. I'm going to just cut off this excess piece, glue it all together, and you can make all sorts of shapes. You can make a petal, teardrop shape, you can make an eye shape. Feel free to get creative with it and give it a personal touch. Although we already made our cards and our appreciation messages, why don't we also just take some time to think about that person that you're appreciative of, and think about why, or maybe think about what you're grateful for. And this could be a person, place, a thing. It could be anything. It could be the sun. It could be being alive. It could be for dogs. Anything. So here I am adding another strip, and I'm just gluing this together, and then I will continue rolling. It's better once the glue dries. Okay. I will continue rolling. As you can see, there is a bright middle part, so you can really have fun with it and play around. If you wanted the petals, for instance, to be curved mildly, you can take your toothpick and just indent the paper a little bit, and then it's somewhat curved. Put pieces next to each other to make shapes like hearts and flowers. And the tighter you wrap it, the smaller it will be. Loose curls are easier because you can do it with your fingers pretty easily. Or you could use a pen or a pencil. But if possible, a pen or a pencil with a cylindrical shape. You don't need much glue, but much easier to see the array of colors with fairly different colors. And as you can see, putting blue and yellow together kind of makes a green. This time I will not trim off the excess paper. Shapes that resemble leaves or stars or anything else. I didn't want the paper as thick, so I cut it, but you can really change and shape the paper. Once you're done, if you enjoyed, you can continue making your own designs and make some greeting cards to give away to friends and family. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye!